I, Douglas Ducote, an American patriot by the grace of God, do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America from enemies foreign and especially domestic.
Of people around Capitol Square leading up to a rally.
Hello, American Patriots. Welcome to a special episode of the Douglas Ducote Show. This works out great because we're not going to be able to do the show tomorrow night because we'll be on the road to Virginia, which is what this is all about that I'm going to talk to you about tonight. Happens to be one of the most important things that you need to know as an American citizen. The gun grab that is going down in Virginia is where it is physically starting right now and is going to spread across America like wildfire to all Democrat-run states. Trust me, it is coming. Because for some strange reason, there are Democrats in government that cannot comprehend the Constitution. So let me refresh everybody's mind. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Keep as in it's yours in your home. Bear as in wear it, have it on your possession. Now, ever since the Constitution was written, we have had people trying to take it away from us. They have passed all types of laws throughout American history to restrict your Second Amendment. Look no farther than damn near every state in America that has concealed weapons permit, where you have to pay a state money and pass a background check in order to have a weapon on you for the security of yourself and your family. What part of shall not be infringed upon do they not get? For those of you that are tuning in for the very first time, listen, I'm not an expert on the Constitution. This much you need to know. I have an associate's degree from college. I retired medically after 18 years from the United States Army, and I served 9 years in law enforcement. I know enough, and I have been around the world enough in many foreign countries to know that what is happening right now in Virginia is going to be the beginning of the end. They're going to strip away our rights, which have been happening slowly but surely, until it reaches a point that you're a felon to have anything other than the type of weapons that our forefathers had when they wrote the Constitution. And that, my friends, is exactly what the Democrats and the liberals would like to see. When Democrats tell you that they support the Second Amendment, when they're running for Congress, it's election time, what they mean is you should have a single shot musket gun in your possession and nothing further. What they're trying to do in Virginia is take away all semi-automatic weapons. Now, that started this entire push for American patriots across this country to gather together and go to Richmond, Virginia on the 20th, which we're doing, to show our support for the people of Virginia, that we support them standing up against a government that is tyranny that is taking away their God-given rights and their Second Amendment rights under the Constitution. By us announcing we're going to do this, caused the Democrats to get, I don't know, scared. That'd be a good word for it. And they started saying crazy things, such as, we will go door to door and take away all your guns, your AR-15s, semi-automatics, once we pass these laws. And the sheriffs of all the counties, with the exception of like maybe 2, so over 100 counties, said, we're not enforcing an unconstitutional law. Not going to happen. Now, the difference in the sheriff and the city police chief is the sheriff is elected by the people. The city police chief is appointed by the governor. I'm sorry, by the mayor. The mayor happens to be Democrat. He's going to put in a Democrat police chief. If the police chief does not do what the mayor tells him to do in any aspects, he's fired. Just like that. Boom, gone, out of here. So for those of you that don't know, across America, in general, the police chiefs answer to the mayor. The mayor actually is the person responsible for what law enforcement does or does not do. So when the sheriff said we're not going to enforce an unconstitutional law, the mayor, the members of Congress there said, okay, well, guess what? Then we'll have the governor activate the National Guard, and we will put all the sheriffs in jail. And then we'll have the National Guard go take away the weapons. And the sheriff said, okay, fine. We will deputize all of our citizens. And this is just setting up this huge, it's just a rattlesnake nest that's slowly getting out of control because the Democrats still don't get the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So since then, and I just took you back 2 weeks ago, there's been all types of discussion back and forth as to what's happening on the 20th. And the Democrats now have come up with a clever way to strip away our rights so that nobody does something stupid to them because they're afraid now of what's going to ascend upon Richmond, Virginia. And what they have done started with just passing laws without letting the Republican members know anything about it until it was done, that you couldn't bring a gun inside into the assembly there, and then trying to restrict it on the grounds, which is where we're going to hold the rally on the 20th. And then the governor held a press conference today. Ralph Blackface Northam, you know, that guy. Yeah, he's still in office, by the way. Nothing happened to him. Nobody cares that he wore blackface. Not that I give a damn about blackface, but what I'm saying is this guy got away with it somehow, this Democrat governor. Okay, so what I'm going to play for you now is very, very important that you listen to what they have now done in advance of us arriving. And like I say, I'm heading that way tomorrow. What they have now done ahead of the 20th rally, where we have literally thousands of American patriots, legal owners of weapons, law-abiding citizens coming to Richmond, Virginia. This you must hear, and then we will talk about it right afterwards. Roll tape, please.
Of people around Capitol Square leading up to a rally planned for this coming Monday. I believe wholeheartedly in the constitutional right of citizens to come to their state representatives and make their views known. I also believe in the right to debate and the right to assemble. And I believe in the right to bear arms. But what we have seen and heard in recent weeks has the potential to go far beyond these constitutionally protected rights. We're seeing threats of violence. We're seeing threats of armed confrontation and assault on our capital. For years, Virginia citizens who want to speak up in defense of gun rights have peacefully assembled here at our Capitol. In fact, many of them did so this past Monday. But we have received credible intelligence from our law enforcement agencies that there are groups with malicious plans for the rally that is planned for Monday.
Bullshit.
This includes out-of-state militia groups and hate groups
You're a
planning
liar.
to travel from across the country to disrupt our democratic process with acts of violence. They are not coming
true.
to peacefully protest. They are
You're full
coming
of
to
shit.
intimidate and to cause harm. State intelligence analysts have identified threats and violent rhetoric similar to what has been seen before other major events, such as Charlottesville. Let me be clear. These are considered credible, serious threats by our law enforcement agencies.
You're
This
a liar.
intelligence comes from mainstream channels, both offline and online, such as alternative dark web channels used by violent groups and white nationalists from outside Virginia.
No, it's Tide Pod 8 years in Mom and Daddy's basement.
Are fueled by misinformation and conspiracy theories. Please know that we have been preparing extensively to protect public safety at Monday's rally. But no one wants another incident like the one we saw in Charlottesville in 2017. We will not allow that mayhem and violence to happen here. So we are taking the following actions to keep people safe in Capitol Square and
Drum
in
roll,
the city
please.
of Richmond. First, we have established a unified command between the state police, the Capitol Police, the Richmond Police Department, and our first responder teams. And I want to personally take this opportunity to thank all of them for keeping us safe. These agencies are working closely together to ensure seamless preparation and planning for this event. They have been briefing me and my team regularly, and I have full confidence in our public safety team. Second, we are asking non-essential personnel not to come to work on Monday. Monday is a holiday for state employees and many others, and that is good news. If you don't need to be in downtown Richmond on Monday, please consider staying home. And third, no weapons will be allowed on the Capitol grounds. This includes everything from sticks and bats to chains and projectiles. These rules are similar to long-standing rules in airplanes and courthouses. This list also includes firearms. It makes no sense to ban every other weapon but allow firearms when intelligence shows a threat of armed militia groups storming our Capitol. To enforce this, I am declaring a state of emergency in Richmond from Friday evening until Tuesday night. Everyone should understand this is based on real, identified threats that have been made. This order includes a prohibition of weapons on Capitol grounds. The prohibition is temporary, and it will expire on Tuesday after the rally. And those who would bring violence into Virginia have left and returned to where they came from. I have made this decision in the interest of keeping the public safe as well as our law enforcement officers. I want to be clear. The organizers have been planning this rally for some time, and I respect their right to do so. I welcome them to their capital, the people's capital.
No, you
I
don't.
believe them when they say that they intend this to be a peaceful event where
Obviously you
Virginia
don't. You wouldn't have
citizens
done that.
express their beliefs to their elected representatives. That's what democracy is.
You have no idea what
Unfortunately,
democracy is.
They have unleashed something much larger, something that they
Unfortunately,
may
you're an
not
idiot.
be able to control. And so I call on them to disavow anyone who wishes to use Monday's rally to advance a violent agenda. And I call
Never
on them
was,
to
never will
discourage
be.
people from other states from coming to Virginia with violent intent. Hate, intimidation, and violence have no place here. I want to be clear. Virginia is always open for citizens of our state to meet with their elected leaders peacefully. That remains the case this coming Monday. Hundreds of Virginians do this every day. Most recently, earlier this week, the NRA hosted its annual lobby day. Hundreds of Virginians participated, and the day passed without incident. That is what peaceful events look like. I thank the NRA for hosting a peaceful event. Now, I call on the Virginia Citizens Defense League and its members to follow the NRA's example and make your
Can you
event
stop it right there for 1
a
second?
peaceful display too.
Okay, this is very difficult for me to watch with a African American gentleman, which I don't know who he is, standing directly behind him. Mr. Blackface himself. Could they have set this up to be any more comical? This is like a Saturday Night Live skit, and it's not directly behind him. It's offsetting constantly. So this is great, Mr. Blackface. You look like a complete and total freaking idiot, and everything we've heard so far is a freaking lie out of your damn mouth. So, continue, please.
As you have done in the past. Please do not dishonor Virginia or your cause. As we have planned our response to these events, I want to thank Richmond Mayor LeVar Stoney for his cooperation in working with us. While the Capitol is the seat of Virginia's government, it is also in the middle of a busy city. I know that Mayor Stoney also wants to keep our citizens safe from potential harm. So, in the following order, I will ask Mayor Stoney to speak, and then Colonel Settle from the Virginia State Police, Colonel Pike from the Capitol Police, and Chief Smith from the Richmond City Police. They will review the plans for you. As the news media, you have the critical ability to help inform the public about these safety measures, and I thank you. Mayor Stoney.
Stop it right there for 1 second. Okay, so watch closely. Since they're all guys, I think so. I could be wrong. This is 2020. Watch closely the spineless, no balls, liberal Democrats suck up ass to Mr. Blackface Northam. Roll tape.
Thank you, Governor, and good afternoon, everyone. As the home of the state capitol, the city of Richmond is well-versed in Lobby Day and probably hosts more events and demonstrations than any locality in the Commonwealth of Virginia. We pride ourselves on being a welcoming city, and committed to protecting the rights of all who live, work, and visit our great city. And we are a city that views public safety, the protection of lives and property, as our #1 priority. That is why we stand prepared, unified, and ready to support and assist the Capitol Police, the State Police, for Monday's annual event. City law enforcement officials have been coordinating and collaborating for weeks with our state partners in planning and preparation to ensure a peaceful gathering in and around the Capitol. Our approach Monday will be the same as with any demonstration. We will ensure the right to assembly and speech and prioritize the protection of life and property. Petitioning your government Exercising your rights is fundamentally American thing to do. It is what makes our country great, and it is why I'm proud to be an American. In fact, I hope it's not lost on anyone
you bastard.
that the person we celebrate on Monday in the holiday, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.,
Would probably
gave
slap
his
you in
life
the face
in
standing
the
there right now.
nonviolent pursuit of equal rights for all Americans. So let me be clear. Regardless of the day or the event, we expect everyone who lives, works, and visits our great city to conduct themselves peacefully, nonviolently, and responsibly. This means that violations of the law will not be tolerated. I repeat, violations of the law will not be tolerated. In conclusion, the City of Richmond is prepared, and we look forward to a successful celebration of Martin Luther King Jr. Day here in your capital city.
All right, who's the next guy with no balls? Step to the microphone, please.
Thank you, Governor, Mayor, and good afternoon. I'm Colonel Gary Settle, Superintendent of the Virginia State Police.
And I'm
I
going to wipe
stand
my ass
before
with the
you
Constitution.
here today as a member of a collective decision-making body of public safety and law enforcement leaders engaged in planning and preparation for this year's Lobby Day on January the 20th.
AKA,
Our responsibility as a unified command is to assess and deploy the operational tactics and resources to maintain the security of Virginia's capital, Richmond city streets, the protection of lives and property, crowd management, maintaining civil order, and emergency response if necessary. Our public safety mission is to maintain the peace and uphold the law so that Virginians can have their say and rally at their capital on Monday in a safe and secure environment. Lobby Day is just that, a day for Virginians to respectfully engage their legislators on a multitude of issues. Our agencies have been working side by side to plan, prepare, and deploy resources necessary to balance the safety and the expectations of public, to balance city residents' expectations, those who work in the city and around the city, state employees, visitors, elected officials, and our governmental leaders. There is credible intelligence to substantiate that a substantial crowd size will be here in Richmond.
get the shit out of your mouth.
And officer safety concerns as well. The culmination of that intel and the potential threats associated with this particular event do cause us concern as a unified command and has heightened our awareness and has caused us to prepare in the manner that you'll hear in just a few minutes from Chief Pike and Chief Smith. Thus, the Virginia State Police will have a significant presence in and around the Capitol Square on Monday in support
would anyhow.
of the Virginia Division of Capitol Police and the City of Richmond Police. Violence will not be tolerated, and if that is your group or your intention on Monday, then you're not welcome. Protocols, prohibitions, and additional information and updates associated with Lobby Day will be made available to the public via our Unified Command Joint Information social media sites on Facebook and Twitter at VA Capitol 2020. We encourage anyone who is planning to come to Capitol Square on the 20th to come prepared for the weather. Come prepared to have to walk and stand, possibly for extended periods of time. Come prepared for a large crowd. We're talking several thousands of people. Come prepared as the availability of food and restroom facilities are limited in the immediate area of the Capitol Square. Come prepared for a large police presence in the best interest of public safety. Come prepared to uphold the dignity
So
of
watch us
Virginia's
strip away
public
the Second Amendment.
legislative proceedings in a peaceful civilized, nonviolent, and safe environment. Thank you, and I would like to introduce the Capitol Police Chief, Colonel Steve Pike.
All right, here comes the next guy with no testicles. Step up to the microphone, please. No, that's a microphone, not a penis. Step back a little bit.
Good afternoon. I'm Colonel Steve
Freaking
Pike,
loser.
Chief of the Capitol Police. And it's not only my duty to oversee the protection of Capitol Square, it is my honor. I don't take lightly the privilege of being able to come to work each day at the property that is a national historic landmark. I am humbled each time I walk in the doors of the Capitol building itself, designed by Thomas Jefferson and housing the oldest elected legislative body in North America. The vision of Capitol Police is now in its 5th century of existence and has seen many, many changes over the centuries in the way we govern and in the way law enforcement protects that sacred process. Those changes have accelerated in recent years, and we have worked hard with our law enforcement partners to provide progressive answers to meet those challenges. I want to thank Colonel Settle of the Virginia State Police and Chief Smith of the Richmond Police Department, who have been invaluable partners to the Capitol Police in the past.
And by putting our testicles in a jar of vinegar.
Our agencies have established a unified command, spending countless hours working with our regional public safety partners with the deliberate desire to ensure the safe outcome for the Capitol Square, our legislators, and the visitors to these historic grounds. A few points I want to mention about visiting the Capitol starting Friday with the emergency declaration. So starting Friday at 5 p.m., Capitol Square closes and will reopen at 7 a.m. daily through the weekend. The 2 weekend access points will be the northeast pedestrian gate near the Patrick Henry building and the other pedestrian gate located closest to the pedestrian plaza entrance at 10th and Bank Streets. The gate at 9th and Great Streets will be the only one available for pedestrian traffic Monday for the permitted event. Those attending will be required to proceed through a security access point on Monday at 9th and Gray Street, which we call North Drive, into Capitol Square. Please be careful when you get into the Capitol Square, as you may see temporary fencing and other security measures that will be in place. If on Monday you plan to visit your legislators for lobbying purposes, we ask that you be patient and expect lines at our access points at the Pocahontas building. I'd like to also reiterate, don't forget about the Facebook and Twitter accounts under the name of Virginia Capitol 2020 as the official distribution points for the media information. And finally, those coming to the Capitol can sign up for a free text and email alerts through weather, traffic, and critical incidents through the Virginia State Capitol Alert Network, or VSCAN. You can find the VSCAN link at the top of the Capitol Police website page, homepage, at dcp.virginia.gov. And I will turn the podium over to Chief Smith.
All right, Chief Smith, step on up there with your testicles in the jar that you left at home.
Good afternoon. I'm William Smith. I'm the Chief of Police for the City of Richmond. And I think you've heard very clearly that we stand as a unified front with our public safety partners. This is not something that we roll out on Monday. It's something that we do year in and year out. We have a wonderful relationship with our local partners, our state partners, and our federal partners, and we work very well together in planning for major events. We are dedicated to ensuring public safety during this year's Lobby Day. We have a few road closures that are going to impact our downtown area. Those include 9th Street, which will be closed from Cary Street all the way up to Broad Street, Main Street from 14th Street to 8th Street. These areas are designed to make sure that we have adequate area to ensure that people can assemble and exercise their rights safely without having to deal with traffic. For our downtown residents and businesses, you should be aware of these events, and you should know that there will be a broad footprint of police presence throughout the downtown area.
Look at Ralphie
I'd like
Blackface
to
in the
emphasize
background.
a few points from the mayor. Our number one priority is public safety, and that means everyone who lives, works, and visits Richmond. We expect persons visiting to be respectful of others, their viewpoints, and to express their views peacefully. We stand ready and will take immediate action should persons choose otherwise.
Can I take a few questions? Yeah, start with Mel.
How many people that Charles will be in Richmond, and are there any lessons learned
Okay, basically, we can go ahead and
We're
stop
not
it.
here to relitigate what happened in
and let me just
Charlottesville, but I will
roll on
remind
with,
folks that we lost.
This. Okay, so look. Good God. This is the biggest hit to date on the Second Amendment by these spineless pricks that you just watched give that press conference. And it pains me to call out another brother in law enforcement, but that's exactly what they are, for taking a crap on our Constitution. Because let me give you the inside scoop that you don't know yet. No one's reporting on this, but I'm going to give it to you right now. Here's how we got to this press conference and restricting all weapons from going into the Capitol grounds area. A few people that live in and around Virginia that are conservative, Republican, abide by the Second Amendment, love the Second Amendment, all that kind of good shit, wanted to speak up about Antifa coming and Black Lives Matter coming and the new Black Panther Party coming, and felt that law enforcement and the mayor and the governor needed to do something to stop them from coming with their weapons of choice, which are always bats, mace, paint, things to do physical body harm. What they didn't want was what we see happening on a regular basis on the West Coast in places like Seattle and Oregon, California, where patriots go to rally with their weapons, as in guns, AR-15s, and concealed weapons permits. And Antifa shows up, or the new Black Panther Party shows up and starts physically attacking people in the streets and beating the shit out of them. And then the mayor orders the police chief to stand down and not let the cops get involved to stop it from happening. That's happening on a regular basis on the West Coast. Patriots show up to rally, whether it's to support the president or to support prayer or to hold prayer rallies. And these bad elements come out with masks on, bandanas over their face, shields to protect themselves, baseball bats, chains, you name it. And they start wailing on people. And not a single American patriot at those rallies, which are the same people that are coming to this one, have ever taken their gun and shot and killed one of these bastards. Although, if they had, it would have been in self-defense, because if you're in fear of your life because somebody has a baseball bat and they're beating the shit out of you, you have the right to shoot and kill them. Period. So, by putting this forward, and it worked its way up the chain of command, these liberal pricks in control there decided, you know what? It's not fair if we tell the Black Panther Party. It's not fair if we tell Black Lives Matter. It's not fair if we tell Antifa that they can't come here with their weapons if we don't do the same thing to the American patriots. That's what brought you to today's press conference. So, I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do with my weapon, and I'm not going to ask you what you're going to do with yours. What I am going to say is that I took an oath to uphold the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and especially domestic. I have served in 4 separate combat tours fighting a foreign enemy. And right now, the enemy of America are those that are attempting to strip away our constitutional right. Make no doubt about it, my friends. What they're doing, not only is it unconstitutional, but it restricts, providing you abide by it, law-abiding citizens from protecting themselves from those that show up at these rallies and do physical harm. The difference between a criminal, Ralph Blackface Northam, and an American patriot is that we don't go out and commit crimes. We don't start attacking police cars and rallies and setting them on fire and attacking women and children in the streets and looting buildings and stores. We don't do that. We help protect that. We help protect our men and women in law enforcement. We have their 6 because our oath never ended. It doesn't expire. So what you've allowed to happen here is the bad guys, the criminal thugs of society, regardless of who they are, to come there with their weapons and do whatever the hell they want to do and hurt law-abiding citizens. Because the law-abiding citizens now can't bring their weapon because you're restricting it from them. You're taking away their rights. Listen up, Ralph Blackface Northam and the city police chiefs that stood there in this press conference. Every single week, over 100 people are shot by criminal thugs in Chicago, and at least 50 die. Do you think those thugs give a shit about the laws in Chicago or in Illinois, where they have the strictest gun laws there are? And let's just not pick on Chicago. Let's pick every human being in America that took a gun or any weapon and hurt another human being that wasn't in self-defense, did so knowing that it was illegal. And they weren't allowed to bring their gun into a school and shoot a bunch of kids. Or they weren't allowed to bring it into the mall and shoot a bunch of people. You realize, Governor Blackface, that every mass shooting takes place in a gun-free zone, you freaking asshole? All you're doing is protecting those that want to do harm to the rest of us. That's what you're doing. Law-abiding citizens American patriots, those of us that believe in our forefathers and what they stood for and our Constitution, you're stripping it away from law-abiding citizens. And you're giving the privilege to those that could give two fucks about what you plan to put forward as a law in America or in Virginia. They don't care. They've never cared. Those that go out and rape women know that, oh, you can't do that. That's illegal. They don't give a shit. They do it anyhow. That's what makes them a criminal thug. Those that rob places and hold people up and take their money and steal from them, they know they're not allowed to do that. They know it's against the law. They don't give a shit about your laws. So if all these American patriots show up without their guns, and then these Antifa and Black Lives Matter and Black Panther groups show up and start attacking us and burning police cars and looting and mass destruction, which is what we were trying to warn you about, some people that were on the ground there, then the blood of American patriots is on your nasty ass hands. You will be responsible for taking away our guns. That's right. And if you think we will just sit there and take it, you have never seen bloodshed. If we have 10,000 American patriots show up and these Antifa idiots or Black Panther idiots or the people that ruined the Black Lives Matter movement idiots start attacking people and your members of law enforcement pause for one damn second, we're reacting. I don't know a single person that's not ready to react to save themselves and their fellow brothers and sisters on their sides. Are there going to be elements, like you said, that are bad people, whether they're racist or what showed up in Charlottesville? I don't know. Maybe. It's a possibility. No clue. But I know this much. That's where I'd want to have my gun in case they do. You don't have enough law enforcement officers in and around Richmond to control 10,000 people showing up. This has turned into an absolute cluster from hell. All because of you spineless little bitches in Virginia. I'm calling on the people of Virginia, those of you that live there, to vote these people out of office. You better do something to get the vote out, because your state just went to shit in a handbasket. And all across America, it's going to happen. Mark my words on it. Every Democrat-run state is going to go through the exact same shit that's happening right now in Virginia. And if you think for 1 second those Democrats aren't sitting back like this with popcorn and a Coke, ready to watch what happens on the 20th, then you're smoking crack and you need to stop that shit, because it's bad for your health. They are the enemy of the people. Anyone that tries to strip away our Constitution, period. There's no other way of putting it. I don't know what else you can say about a person, an elected official, that does not care about your rights. Only their ideology to take away from a law-abiding citizen their right to protect themselves. This doesn't get any simpler than that. You go into a restaurant and there's a sign on the door that says guns aren't allowed. or you go to the school, any school, guns aren't allowed? Do you think for one damn minute that anyone that is hell-bent on causing destruction at that location is going to stop when they see that sign and go, oh, shit, I made a mistake. I need to go pick another building because this is a gun-free zone? What kind of idiot would believe that's what's going to happen? And who can't be protected? Those of us that obey by the damn law that you passed. We're the ones that are going to get a bullet in the head because my fist ain't going to do shit against the guy with the gun. And this is happening all over the United States. Everywhere there are shootings taking place, especially in your major metropolitan areas. Pick one. They're all run by Democrats. They all have tough gun laws. And who's getting hurt? The law-abiding citizen. Because the criminal doesn't give a shit. That's why, oh, they're a criminal. It's like I've gone into the freaking twilight zone every time I see a Democrat or a liberal start talking about the Second Amendment. So, if you're one of the 10,000 plus, like me, that is heading out over the next couple of days, in my case tomorrow, heading to Virginia for the 20th rally to support our Second Amendment, if you didn't listen to that press conference, guess what? You have to leave your gun at home or become a criminal. Figure those odds. That's the choice you were given. Take away your Second Amendment rights that were given to you by your forefathers, by our Constitution, or become a criminal if you go to the rally. Because they're going to have checkpoints, and only two, where you have to go through with metal detectors to make sure you don't have your gun. I see a problem happening in America that is borderlining insanity. And it's going to affect every single one of us. And we better, as a society, figure out how we're going to stop this. Violence is not the way to do it, number one. For those that believe in the power of prayer, that's a good start. Number three, getting out and voting. Voting out those that don't care about the Constitution. Like, for instance, even the leaders of the Democrat Party and those that are trying to impeach the president right now. If you listen to Nancy Pelosi's speech today with Nadler and Shifty Shift talking about the Constitution, how he violated it. No, they're the ones violating the Constitution. And they continue to support that. Have you ever seen a single Democrat speak out against Antifa or Black Lives Matter or the Black Panther Party? Hell no, you haven't. They speak out against somebody that supposedly is a white nationalist or a white supremacist, members of the KKK. And I hate those bastards too, okay? I got no place for that. I bleed red just like they do. Look, there's no place in our society for bigots and racists. But those that physically are doing the violence that you've seen with your own eyes on national TV don't happen to be white guys. CNN and MSNBC. Did you see white guys in the streets of Ferguson, Missouri, tortured police cars and looting and busting out stores and setting them on fire? Or in Baltimore? Or in New Orleans? Or down in Baton Rouge? Or just pick a freaking place. Who do you see causing the damn destruction? Who do you see causing all the gun violence? Are there some white people mixed in there that need to be eliminated? You bet your ass there are. But everybody now turns against the white man and tries to say we're the freaking problem. Because why? We support our Constitution. That makes us the enemy of the people. That's sad shit right there. And we continue to let them do it and continue to get away with it. Vote these bastards out of office. Band together in your cities and your towns and your counties and your states and vote Democrats out of office. They are a sick fungus because they've been infiltrated by the far left liberals, socialism. Hell, all you have to do is go on YouTube and watch what took place in any of the Democrat debates last year and the one last night. And you would think it's a Saturday Night Live skit. Are you shitting me? We had Cory Booker saying, if I become president, I will rewrite the Constitution so there is no Second Amendment. We got Bernie and Warren talking about we're going to make it a socialist country. We got Buttigieg saying we're going to take away their guns. Hell yeah, we're going to take away their guns. This is no freaking brainer. And sadly, hell, half of this country thinks like they do. And I don't get it. I don't understand. I've always been a law-abiding citizen. I've never been to prison. Hell, the most I've ever had is a speeding ticket. But yet, I'm the bad guy for serving my country with honor and continue to serve it by putting out videos and doing the Douglas Ducote show to show you the truth, the proof of how crazy this shit is becoming. With that, I'm going to bring on my producer for a quick few minutes, and then we're going to close out the show because it's 7:52 and my blood pressure basically can't handle this shit anymore. Dustin, how are you, my brother?
Oh, wonderful. Hey, one other thing. Yeah, you brought it up on the metal detector checkpoints. That came up in that last couple of minutes that we cut off, but it was really hard to hear the reporters that were asking the questions. But it was only a few minutes long. I had listened to it closely earlier today. So the law enforcement was asked how they're going to secure the area, and that's what they said. They're basically going to barricade the entire Capitol Mall and then have a couple of checkpoints where you have to go in, be scanned by metal detectors. Someone did ask what would happen if someone tried to come in with a firearm, and I forget which one of the cop clowns there. Yeah, but he said they said that basically they're going to ask them politely first to go put it back in their car or in their hotel room or wherever they got it from. But a couple of them kept trying to, there will be no tolerance for this stuff. So anyway, that's what came up in there. The other thing, I just wanted to mention this real quick because I was reading a lot of articles today while we were ripping this video and getting it ready. So on Monday, when the NRA was there, as you see how Governor Northam is trying to pit the NRA up against VCDL, which is lightly connected with Gun Owners of America, by saying NRA was so nice and these guys are so evil. But I just want to read this quick. So when the NRA lobby day was going on, Dick Saslaw, who is the Senate Majority Leader Democrat there, who's been pushing gun bans in Virginia for like 20 years, he's now the Senate Majority Leader. He was the one pushing SB 16, which you've talked about before. That's kind of the motherlode bill. They've been sliding through all kinds of other bills through committees right now. So he tabled SB 16 and basically killed it. And what this article explained, and this is actually from the NRA, that he basically killed this bill. So the NRA declares a win. But here's the funny part. So while SB 16 is effectively dead, a bill nearly identical to it, which I read, remains on the other side of the General Assembly, and as of January 13th, House Bill 961 has yet to be referred to a specific committee for any future action, but I guarantee that's coming up the back door, and they're going to slide that through. So they gave the NRA and the gun lobby a simple, to be honest, that was probably worked out with the NRA, and then they're going to slide this one through the back door while nobody's looking, is my guess, because they want that motherlode bill. And then just for the audience, I want to thank, there was a lot of people that donated in Super Chats tonight, so thank you very much for that. There was a lot of people that donated from the email earlier today to the donorbox.org/2A. As I mentioned last night when Doug had to step out, he's going to be there live as long as these guys don't cut the cell feeds there. You know, you guys, this is the type of stuff that you guys are helping fund, as well as travel and stuff like that. So when Doug's on the ground, you know, this rig will allow him to live stream back to the studio, and then I'll be here anchoring it. But this is like, has an all-day battery backup, you know, wireless mic for street interviews. You know, that's the kind of stuff that your donations pay for, so that he can broadcast live on the ground. And then anyone who's already donated, or anyone who donates really up until Monday, we're going to send you guys out an email on Sunday evening with a call-in number. I'll communicate with you guys via email, and then Doug will have an earpiece so you can hear me and hear what's going on in the show, and then we'll let you guys call in between rally speakers or when stuff is kind of boring, and then that way, if you have any questions for Doug, he can answer them on the ground. I would imagine he's going to try to interview some law enforcement and other people at the rally, elected officials, anyone you could really get to, hopefully. So that's the plan. As long as they don't block the cell signals, which they do sometimes, we'll be streaming. If not, he'll record everything, send it back, and I'll get it edited and uploaded as soon as we possibly can.
Yes. Thank you very much, brother. All right, my friends. Look, this is bad. This is so far the worst that it could ever possibly be. But this ain't nothing compared to what's coming, especially when another Democrat gets elected into the White House. And God forbid if it's Biden or Bernie or Elizabeth, we're done. Stick a fork in it. I'm telling you, this is bad. 2020, we're going to see things happening unlike we've ever experienced in American history. I plan to be in the middle of the shit. Yeah, my life insurance is good, and that's just how I am. I was trained to go towards the fire, trained to go towards the gunfire. That's just, look, that's me. Not to mention I was born an alpha male. And I don't like bullies. And I don't like people that want to shit on our Constitution. There needs to be more people like me, I believe. Instead of these whining little bitches that need a cry space. Did you know? Look, just kind of a little bit off topic, but yet still on topic because of the people we're talking about. You know, I've got 3 children in college right now. And let me just tell you this much. On exam days, they're bringing in service dogs, emotional support service dogs for our college kids to sit down and pet before they go in to take their test because of their anxiety level. Are you shitting me? I guess, I don't know, maybe that's better than what I went through. Every test I took was through one eye and the other one was bloodshot to hell and back with little to no sleep. But look, I made it through it. And then when I heard that about the service dogs going into colleges, I just thought, what have we become? What is this? This is the America that I fought and served for. Many of my brothers and sisters died for. Which brings me to the closing. Thousands of American patriots died here in America and in other countries for our Constitution. And these bastards in Virginia are pissing on the graves of everyone that died serving our country for that Constitution. As always, please say a prayer for our men and women serving in the United States military, our law enforcement officers, and while I'm mentioning them, remember, every one of you city police officers in Virginia, it's an unconstitutional order. But say a prayer for them too. Our veterans, their families, our first responders, our angel families, those that have lost their loved ones to illegal immigrants, our Blue and Gold Star families, our president, and most of all, God bless the United States of America, because we need God to intervene to stop it from going literally to hell. I will not be here for the show tomorrow night because I'll be on the road to Virginia. I still plan to do the show Tuesday from Virginia. And I will continue to do everything in my power to bring you the truth, the unedited truth, where political correctness is thrown out the window, because that's the only way to get the message across these days. I get messages every now and then. Doug, why do you have to say this bad word or that bad word? I blame it on Uncle Sam. Blame it on my old school dad that raised me. I don't know. It happens. Wish I didn't have a potty mouth. But guess what? It'd be me, people like me, that take care of those that can't take care of themselves due to disability, due to age, whatever the case may be. Because we took an oath and we support all Americans, even those that plan to strip away our rights if they were being attacked. I would step in between them and the bad guy. And that's the difference between the American patriot and the Tide Pod eater. God bless you all, and thank you for tuning in to this special report. For now, I'm Douglas Ducote, and I'm out.
I, Douglas Ducote, an American patriot by the grace of God, do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America from enemies foreign and